Let's talk about adding and subtracting polynomials. We've got a couple different methods that we go through when you're adding and subtracting polynomials. One is to keep things horizontal, kind of the way that they're normally just written, and the other is to stack them vertically and then add vertically. So I'm going to take us through two examples, and I will do both of them in each of the ways. So here's two polynomials, p of x, q of x, and I want to add them. This right here tells me that we're taking the p and the q and we're adding them together. So first I'm going to do my horizontal method, and then I'll go do it vertically as well. But I'm going to write out my p of x polynomial first. So in parentheses, I've got my p of x, which is x to the fourth plus 3x squared minus 6 plus, and then I want to add all of my q of x. So I write that here. Now looking in front of each of the parentheses, there's nothing that I need to distribute. Everything's positive in my coefficients in front of the parentheses. There's no exponents that are gluing things together, so I can go ahead and just ignore the parentheses. They're really not doing anything. So you could erase them, or you could just ignore them if you prefer. If you have a negative coefficient in front, you do need to take care of that, but positive is perfectly fine. We can just erase. So now I just go and combine my like terms. I start with my highest exponent, x to the fourth. I have 1x to the fourth plus another 1x to the fourth, which gives me 2x to the fourth. Then since I have no x to the third terms, I'll go ahead and I'll skip down to x squared. I have 3 of them, and I'm taking away 5, which leaves me with negative 2x squared. And then my last pair is negative 6 and positive 8, which combine to give me positive 2. So this would be the polynomial p of x plus q of x. Okay, now how would it look if we did it vertically? Let me go ahead and clear, and we'll start over. So to add them vertically, I'm still going to start with p of x. But now when I add the q of x, I'm going to write it directly below, lining up all of the like terms. I have x to the fourth, I put that right beneath my x to the fourth. Negative 5x squared goes right beneath the x squared, and then plus 8. The nice thing about this is that everything's pretty visually grouped, so I just need to now add straight down, and I'll be combining those like terms. So 1x to the fourth plus 1x to the fourth, 2x to the fourth, and I add straight down with those x squareds, giving me negative 2x squared. Negative 6 plus 8 is positive 2. So again, we get that same polynomial, and this is my p of x plus q of x polynomial. Okay, let's do one more example. I will take us through this one, and in this one, we're going to be subtracting instead. So I've got two different polynomials, and we are subtracting. So let me do it horizontally first. I'm going to take g of x and subtract h of x. H of x is that first polynomial, and I put both of them in parentheses. Now notice that the g of x, that first parentheses, has nothing in front, no exponents, so those parentheses really aren't doing anything. So I could just erase those if I wanted to. But the second parentheses does have a negative in front. We can think of it as a negative 1. So because it's something other than just a plus, I need to distribute it to everything in the second parentheses. And now I just combine my like terms, starting with the highest exponent and going down to the lowest. So my final polynomial is g of x minus h of x, and that is negative 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 5x plus 11. Okay, so this is an example of subtracting horizontally. So just like in the last example, let me go ahead and erase everything, and we'll redo it in a vertical format. So I'll start with my g of x. So I've set up my two polynomials vertically. What I need to do now is subtract. So I start with that first row and I subtract that like term in the second row. I start with my 4x cubed and I subtract 6x cubed, giving me negative 2x to the third. Now notice I lined up all of my like terms so that everything combines really nicely. 5x squared doesn't have a like term, so negative 5x squared minus, there's nothing here. So negative 5x squared minus 0 is going to be just negative 5x squared. Then my x terms, positive 7 minus positive 2 gives us positive 5. And then this is going to be nothing, or 0, minus a negative 11. When you're subtracting a negative, that becomes positive, so this becomes plus 11. And this is your polynomial g of x minus h of x. So those were a couple examples of adding and subtracting polynomials in a couple different formats. Hopefully you found that helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.